Hello, welcome to No Problem. Thank you all for supporting me in completing the project. I'm really excited about, what the, hey, get this out of here. But like I said, we completed the project. It's all done, and never mind, cut. How's it going, guys? It's Casey and welcome to No Problem. And yeah, that was kind of a joke. We did not finish the project. Here's the project, and we are very close to announcing a name for this bad boy. It might even happen in this video, but that's not the point of today's video. Today, we want to talk about a good Ford probe. Welcome to an almost museum quality, would you say?
Yeah.
My
bumps and scratches.
My smaller version of me's 1993 Ford probe. And yeah, this thing is phenomenal. Whoa, your headlights go up without the lights?
Yeah, man.
Is that a feature?
Yeah, it was like $200 extra. You know, cars these days.
In the quiet, all my thoughts run free. So I drown them out at night with my TV. Try to ignore these thoughts that go back and forth inside my head. Should stop before I'm in too deep and I can't go back. Fire is burning through this silence. I can't take it, can't control this flame we started. You know I'm fire in my heart, yeah. Fire is burning through this silence. I can't take it, can't control this flame we started. You know I'm fire in my heart, yeah.
So this is a 93 Ford probe, much nicer than ours. And the funny story behind this one is I was on Craigslist looking for parts for the green one, and then all of a sudden I saw this red one pop up, and I was like, well, it's a complete Ford probe. It is a 1993 with, at the time, 88,000 miles. It's got somewhere around 90,000 miles right now. And yeah, let's take a look at it. Inside we can see that this one is actually a red interior with kind of like gray carpet inserts. I've never seen one that looked like this, even on forums or pictures. So I think that it's somewhat special in some form or another. Moving on to the paint of this one. This one, although a little bit dinged and scratched, you know, the car is ancient by our standards. The paint is all here and it's not painted over. This is the original paint. It's kind of been worked on, and as far as old paint goes in a car that wasn't like climate controlled stored, it is absolutely beautiful. The center console is all together in this one, as opposed to the beginning shape of the last one. We got some, and yeah, it is a stick. This one has a neat little party trick. If you want to prove to your friends that you're a little cooler than them, you can pop open the headlights without turning the headlights on. And I've been told that cars from the 90s did this, so you can clean them or open them if you were gonna have a cold night, so they wouldn't freeze shut. Unfortunately, under the hood is another Mazda FS engine, making about 119 or 116 horsepower and about that much foot-pounds in torque. You know, it's not a Ford Probe GT, but the good thing about this motor is it's much more reliable than the V6. As you can tell, this stuff doesn't exist on the green car. This one is completely stock, and this is how it should look. It's proper. There's no paint overspray everywhere. It's the colors that it should be. There's a Ford logo, even though it should say Mazda right there. But, you know, it's a properly sorted car. It has half of the miles the other one does. And for the most part, it's been completely flawless for about the 3 years that we've had it. Oh, this one has one very unique feature over the green one. If we come over here and pop open the trunk, this one goes up by itself. And it stays up. I'd be comfortable putting my head here on this one. Struts on this hatch are a lot stronger, so you have to kind of, you know, put your muscle into it. So I'm sure that's enough talking for now. Let's get in it and see how it drives.
Its wheels look as old as ice cream trucks.
Oh, it's pretty old. Can I drive it now?
No.
Why?
It's my car. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna beat you up if you don't let me. That's the spirit. Oh yes. To drive a completely stock one of these is it was a really humbling experience. I remember that I actually test drove this car because when we got it for the little brother, he didn't quite have his license yet. So I test drove this car and I was blown away about how much better it was. Like it's significantly quieter. It has complete exhaust. The pillarless windows all seal, and the clutch engages where you would expect a clutch to. I was used to a clutch in the other car which engaged about maybe a centimeter off of the floor, and it still does that. But yeah, this car is incredibly comfortable. And that's something else I noticed too, that this car still has a stock suspension, and it aged very well. It doesn't crash, it doesn't bump, it floats over some stuff, but it's still responsive enough to where you'd think it's a sports car. And then moving on to the sportiness of this car, yes, it has only 116 horsepower, but we have to remember this car only weighs about 2,700 pounds. So it still feels nimble on its feet, and if you really want it to go, it still feels entertainingly fast. Now, I'm pretty sure that since this car is a lot younger than the other car as far as mileage goes, that this has a lot more horsepower. Well, a lot, but it just feels faster, this car. And like, not in a savage kind of way, you just row through the gears and the car feels really, it just feels like it wants to just whisper in your ear and tell you go a little faster. When you get this car into a turn, that's when it really comes alive. See, this is a sport compact from the early 90s. They weren't really the drag cars or the top speed monsters that you would expect from the word sport car. But let me tell you, once you get this car like in the middle of a turn, it just feels like it's ready for you to push it. And it does it with the greatest of ease.
Wish I had better tires.
Don't tell the viewers that. This is a car that feels very, very good on a mountain road, but only in one direction. It's a little underpowered, especially if you get up into altitude of the mountains. But once you struggle all the way to the top and then start descending, this car feels right at home. For such a small car, it has kind of a long wheelbase, so it really feels good on the open road. Here we're on a long sweeping turn. The weather's nice out. You just can feel it through the turn. It's glorious. The smoothness and refinement of this car is something you must commend Mazda for doing. I'm not sure Ford could have ever made a 4-cylinder by themselves like this.
it's got that Japanese quality to it. It feels like it's screwed together really well. And this car hasn't been abused either. So I'm really in kind of a time capsule of Japanese quality. And I like to claim that the 90s were kind of a golden age for cars. They were as futuristic as you could design them while still making them completely manual. This car doesn't have traction control and doesn't have ABS, which makes it really scary in the winter, but when the weather's nice, this car is fabulous to drive. It doesn't try to assist you, it doesn't try to bother you with nannies and tell you can't drive like that. The only thing that's limiting you is your lack of ability to drive correctly. And no, this car isn't particularly loud or anything, but I think that's kind of what makes it perfect. You can have some fun with it. You can row through the gears, and you're just rewarded with this smile on your face. Although I do wish it was a tiny bit faster, like both of them. It'd be nice if one of these cars was a GT, but if I get enough subscribers and enough support, I will buy a Ford Probe GT. Mark my words. But hell, that's not gonna happen. You have to get kind of famous to get like 20 bucks on YouTube, so. But seriously, I think it's kind of amazing that this car is actually 2 years newer than this car, because I mean, this car is a luxury car compared to this one. It's quiet, it's got all the amenities, everything works. And I mean, not that everything doesn't work on this car, but like, it's just so refined. And this is a noisy, squeaky little go-kart. And I love it and hate it for that same reason. Once again, this is the nice Generation 2 Ford Probe, and she shines. Well, that's it for today. I'm Casey from No Problem, and thanks for watching this little showcase on our nice Ford Probe. So yeah, we got 2 Ford Probes, and I want the 3rd one, or maybe a 4th one, or a 5th one. I think that's an addiction, isn't it?
Yeah, who knows? We'll probably have a whole lot of probes.
We'll own all the Ford Probes in Colorado someday, or do something with them, but...
Like Leno's Garage, but only Ford Probes.
Well, once again, I'm Casey from No Problem. I'm starting an Instagram for the channel. It should be up by now, and it's in the description below. But if you want to see some cool music at the end of the video, stick around and hear my band, Bass and Sound. Thanks. Bye. Now that we got your car all clean.
Fingerprints. Who did it? Who did it?
Oh, wait.
Oh!
I've practically kissed your car.
around the road. Love comes wearing disguises. So how to go about the jewels, break it down by shapes and sizes. I'm a man who's got very specific taste. You know you're just my type. Oh, you got bones in what we think. You know you're just my type. Hey, I think it's time that we ain't leaving. You know you're just my type. And when there's loving in the air, don't fight it, just keep breathing. But I can't help myself but stare. Double check for double meanings. I'm a man who's got very spicy.